I think I have some clarification on the number of foreign players we can register. This is going to be the shortest transfer window episode you've ever seen. So, one thing that I realized is this that I looked at earlier is just talking about who's on the pitch. And then this gives you some guidance as to how many foreign players you can register. And that was something that I had missed. So, you can register a total of 6 foreign players. 5 of them can be non Asian. Apparently, Asian, as far as I can figure out right now, it's a little early in the window, my friends. Not early, yeah, it's like halfway through. Means if you are in scouting and you go to continent and you go Asia, that counts because our Australian DM that we have or had counted as a foreign, but not foreign non-Asian. Does that make sense? I think it does. So we've sent him out on loan with an optional fee to be purchased for about $1 million, which is more than his value. So we took it. He's a 2.5 star. It says he's a good K League One player, but a leading K League One player potential, but that's like 2.5 to 3 stars. And I needed that foreign player spot. At least I wanted that foreign player spot open. And another thing I noticed, and that's not why this player's not why I wanted the foreign player spot open, is we don't have any left or right backs of significant quality. So we have paid too much, but we've signed Lee Yu Hyun, maybe, who is a left back, right back, 3-star. Again, says leading K League One. It must be quite the fine line between, like, you would think leading would be like 3.5, 4-star, or something like that. But it's not. It's a 3-star. Again, I know it's against our players and blah, blah, blah. But, like, it just seems interesting that that's considered leading. But what I liked about this player, we paid 400 grand, or it rises to 400 grand. It said his value was like 35 to 375, so we've paid through the nose. I guess a little bit. Is he is strong-footed left and very strong-footed right. So versatility is what we are looking for, because with the substitution rules that we have not seen in action yet, we're gonna need to maybe be flexible. He's 30 years old. It's a 3-year deal. I don't love that, but it kind of is what it is. I've been a little surprised at how hard it has been to find good South Korean players. We did finish 3rd last season, and that's the transfers, my friends. All the other ones are like youth players that we've sent out on loan to develop and all that kind of stuff. And I'm wondering if this might have something to do with it. I thought I took a screenshot of the message. I didn't, but Lee Jun-jae, our right back that has gone on loan to Gimcheon, who's another team at our level, started his military service. So do you think that has something to do with the rules about the under 22s and like whether you have them or not? I have no idea, but I was like, oh, I hadn't thought about that in terms of, let's just go to the club vision, right? Like, you want me to sign players under the age of 23 for the first team, but aren't they going to get picked up for military service? I don't know the rules about that, like in South Korea, but you would think that would be a thing that would happen. This is also a good time to kind of review. This is how the vision ended up. I don't know if that's good or not, or if it's changed, but current season, knockout stages of the AFC Champions League, finish in the top 3, and challenge for the KFA Cup. To help motivate us to do that, I have taken our transfer budget, because we're not really finding players, and if we find them and they're expensive, most likely they're foreign and we can't register them and all that fun stuff, and said, let's take high bonuses on the domestic league, the cup, and the Champions League. So our transfer budget is down to 1.125. I have pulled some into our wage budget, and that's because we needed to adjust our wage budget as a whole so we could afford to re-sign Jesse Lingard. I know what you're thinking. He's going to fall apart physically. He's 34. We gave him a massive raise. But the reality is, I felt like I didn't have a lot of time to like come in and find some really good players, build scouting team. I have a beef about scouting, if I can just go on a bit of a tangent with you here. So let's go to the staff tab. We now have 4 scouts. If you've got an opening for 4 scouts, I am hoping one of the things that they fix in FM26, if it comes out, is that I want to hire 4 scouts. I don't want to post a job for a scout. I want to hire 4 scouts, or I want to however many. I think I had 2, right? I want to hire 2 scouts, but when you go and you fill the job, it brings the job posting down and you have to redo it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like this just seems illogical. I want to hire both. I have spots for 2. Leave it up, please. Thank you very much. So anyway, Jesse re-signed because we upped our wage budget to afford him. But really, he's a star player. He performed exceptionally well last year for whoever was in charge before me on a 7-2-3. Only 5 goals and 3 assists with 4 players of the match, but 32 starts, it looks like. That's solid. That's solid. Now, you'll notice, I said he's going to start falling apart. Yeah, he's already started to fall apart, but that's okay because it is a 1-year deal. And essentially, the raise that we gave him with the bonuses and the appearance bonuses and all that kind of stuff is like 500 or 600 grand. So you go like, well, in terms of a transfer fee, he's already here. He's already integrated with the squad. He performed well the last 2 seasons. That's a pretty low fee to keep a guy who fits into the tactic that we've built, or that we've built for now. It may change based on if we can sign any other players. So we're currently sitting with a 4-2-3-1. I think I showed that to you last time. We may, if we sign the player that's on trial that's not on our bench right now, go to some sort of a 5-2-3 type situation and use wingbacks. But for now, this is how we line up. And it reminds me a bit of Kagoshima at that our back line needs some work. I think that's being generous. Our midfield needs some work. I don't like that's just reality. And we have 4 really strong attacking players, and our bench of attacking players is actually pretty good too. Let me switch you over to this view. So if you start here, these 3 players, 2.5, 3-star, and 3-star with some potential. That's pretty solid. Our goalkeeper has fluctuated, but is about 3 or 3.5 stars. The backup is awful, but you have to have one. The center back, like you notice the center back situation. We have 1 3-star, we have a 2.5 star, we have a 2.5 star, we have a right back or right everything that's a 2.5 star. We have Veldin Hodsha, who was already concerned when I took over. And that's probably due to a lack of minutes last year. Nope, shouldn't be. Well, 21 subs. Ahaha, my friends. So we have discovered this player was rotated for whoever, probably Marco Antonio, in the league, right? Right? Yeah, he had 34 starts. That's most likely. What I like about Marco is Marco in a bind can play right back or center back. So that's why I'm kind of trying to leave it open to if we find a center back that is really strong, we could bring that player in. But from a transfer policy, I'm kind of looking for those players that aren't star players, which is really odd because I can only register, if I go up to the registration screen for you here, I can only register 1 more foreign player. We have 5. Okay. And again, a maximum of 5 foreign players that are not Asian. So like that last one, I want to maximize and get the best player that I can get. But if it's the best player that I can get, and let's say they are a 4-star, like absolute amazing signing, I can only have, again, let's go back to the rules because we're going to learn together. I can only have 4 foreign players in the playing 11, and 3 of them can be not Asian. So Yazan Al-Arab here, which I had not noticed this. Wait for it. Wait a minute. Okay. I guess this counts as because he shows up as foreign, but these are I'll probably zoom in on this is not including Asian players. So he's counting as a foreign Asian player. Marco Antonio is a foreign non-Asian. Jesse Lingard, foreign non-Asian, and Hernandez is a foreign non-Asian. So if I bring in somebody who wants to start that is not Asian, then one of these 3 cannot start, and that weakens the team. So my best option is to go find like a center back, somebody in the back line, I'm not being picky at this point, who also counts as Asian, because then I could swap out Yazan Al-Arab, I think is how you say it. Now, I have made some mistakes. I made Willian very upset because he says he's Brazilian. Turns out you have to pay attention, GHG. He's Brazilian, Italian, South Korean. That is a fantastic background. So I transfer listed him, and he was like, I'm one of the best players at the team. I was like, bro, you are on a fringe player contract. Get it together, would you? But I don't blame him for being upset. So that's why we shipped off this guy, because, again, he was taking a foreign player spot, and that's fine. But, like, I don't think our problem is at the attacking, like, right now we're not playing with central midfielders, and I don't think we have a problem in the attacking third. My problem is at the back line. So I have some options that I want to show you, and let's just see what you all think, because I'm literally recording this the day before it comes out. So your advice in the comments would be greatly appreciated. First up, a non-foreign player is this guy we have on loan. And does this happen to you? Kim Seong-min is South Korean. Yay, good for him. He played for Incheon, who got relegated. He had 34 starts last season on a 6.64. Not exactly fantastic. He was released, and nobody came in for him. Like, he has been, my scouts have been bringing him up. I had him on the short list as like, well, if we had to, our scouts says he's a good K-League 1 player. Maybe this is the difference between the scouts and the coaching staff's thoughts on this player. He's not leading, but he's 3.5 stars. Brain. We could pick him up, and maybe if we needed to play like a 3 at the back, although what I just said about our center backs does not exactly inspire confidence. Or this is after I played him in one friendly at left back. We trained him up on left back. I do love a 2-footed player, right? But he's not, to me, he doesn't come across as like, this player is just absolutely outstanding. But he wouldn't take up a foreign player spot. We could register him. I haven't talked to his agent to see, or maybe have I? No, to see if he wants regular starter minutes or ideally squad player minutes or something like that. But that is an option if we had to go that route. And I should mention, we did extend Kang Sang-woo because I was panicking. And of course, he's 33 and his physicals are falling apart. We're going to drop that regular starter agreement here in just a little bit. Yeah, squad player. Yeah. So this is another option. Alex Murphy, who currently is on loan at Swansea from Wigan Athletic. His contract is up in the middle of our season, which I find very interesting. So we are currently scouting him. I have sent scouts several times to see this guy, and we still have no idea about the roles and duties that he plays, but you can kind of make some assumptions based on his attributes, right? So I think he's got both of these things going on. I think he's more of a left back, very strong-footed, decent-looking physicals, decent-looking mentals, and again, decent-looking technicals. But I'm curious if he would want regular starter minutes, because I think a player like this, where you have the capability to rotate, either your left back is having a bad game or your terrible center backs are having a bad game, and he comes in for those as a rotation option. The problem is he's Irish. He's from Galway. Oh, that's a lovely place. Been there. Actually, drove over a curb or around a curve one time. My kids think it's hilarious to bring that up repeatedly. But if we pick up Alex Murphy, that means one of these 3 players has to come off the pitch. But again, if he wants squad player minutes, or less, ideally, then that's like, hey, we're taking off Hernandez or bringing somebody else who's South Korean or whatever to play the left wing. And as we're doing that, we'll take Kang Sang-woo off and we'll bring on Alex Murphy. That way he's starting to develop and get minutes. That's where my brain is at, but I don't know if that's the right way I should be thinking about this. And that's not even to say estimated wage, he may have zero interest in playing in South Korea, but I think he looks all right. If you ask me, he's on a 6.86 currently on league, in League One, which is, I don't know if that's the same level as us or not, but yeah, just as an option. And kind of the same thing here with Elias Tendon, keep it connected. Maybe he's got really good passing. No, it's a 9. Okay. Leading K-League 1 player with a 3-star, could improve a lot. kind of one of those like signing that the board would like, right? 20 years old going on. No, he just turned 20 years old. I'm not saying he looks as good. He can play left back or right back, but again, kind of gives you that depth option. Don't think he's as strong as Alex Murphy, but might be cheaper because he's currently on 525 a week, but we would have to pay a transfer fee versus if we wait for Alex, we can pick him up in the middle of our season. Now, there's lots of other players that I've scouted and I would love to sign. We just don't have the room in the foreign players. I'm going to zoom in here and just go like, you recognize any of these names? Because I didn't. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting. Ah, gosh, I'd love to sign Pantelis Hatzidikos because he's versatile, right? He can play the DM, he can play the right back, he can play the center back. He's 30 years old. We could get him on the free in the middle of the season. So I'm not saying I think he's good enough that he'd be like, no, I want to play all the time. And that doesn't really work for us. And the last thing I'll leave you with is that the media has us predicted to finish third, which is where we finished last season. And that's where the board wants to be in the top 3, ideally. But it's a pretty big jump from third to fourth. So hopefully we come in and just do a job. I just have to figure out how to sign players, and we'll see how the under 22 thing works. I said this is going to be a short. I think you probably knew. If you're not new around here, you've been around a while, you probably knew when I said at the beginning of the episode, this is the shortest transfer window ever. You're like, nah. Also because you can see the timestamp. But you get the idea. So I'm going to leave it there, actually. And then, just to kind of give you a little preview, I will bring you back. This is last season. I'm trying to figure out when we join the Champions League. Because, like, there's this thing where there was a second leg in February. We'd be in the middle of that right now last year. And then the group stage is in September, which is odd. Which also means if we bring players in the middle of the season, that might be okay. Currently, it's all league play until the Cup 4th round, and we start the season against Hyundai Ulsan, who are predicted to finish second. So, if you've enjoyed this, hit the like button, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.